And I have Steppin with Marcus J. We back, y'all. Thank y'all for staying with us as we progress through the night, get into our rants, and get into our closings. And I'll get through my thank yous and everything when it comes time for me to close out with my rant and my closing. So we'll just get right to the crew saying their final words of the night. Big Rube ends his show with his segment that we like to call the Smash. Big Rube's Top Smasher, man. What you got?
I guess I'm trying to figure out how to start this because this is a little difficult. Earlier in the show, I spoke about Thomas Davis, the Carolina Panther who won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, and all the adversity that he went through as a child to get where he is today, and it was, like I said earlier, it kind of brought a tear to my eye because this kid was poor. And he did everything possible to not remind himself that he was poor. He lettered in 4 sports in high school. He graduated. He graduated from University of Georgia. It's just one of those things. He was a first-round draft pick. And he did so much, with his charity for kids. And just in case you didn't know or realize, I'm a big proponent for kids, because there's so many, I was blessed to have 2 great parents who raised me, and mom gets credit for being mom, but dad gets credit for being dad and making sure he was the man in the household and the light stayed on, and I got my schoolwork done, and I just became a man. And what I do now is I work with kids in the summer and throughout the year, and it's just there are some kids who can't afford to come to the camp where I work at, but they get scholarships and stuff, and it's just so important how much those kids, and even the kids who can't afford to go, they need that. They need to be children. And it's just so sad how a lot of kids in this world can't be children because of whatever's going on in their life. And that's why I was a little heated earlier with the Nationwide commercial, and I get everybody's point. Well, you don't want to, make the Super Bowl be sad and stuff, but it's a message that needs to get out because clearly people aren't understanding. Really, kids. You had a kid in Virginia Beach who got hit by a car this weekend and died. You have kids who get shot by stray bullets or out on the street. They get shot by just being in the wrong place, wrong time, or doing something they shouldn't be doing. But to see that most kids die at home just for, just because you just take your eye off your kid for whatever reason, or, just accidents around the home. That's what kills children. All this other stuff kills children, but this kills children the most. And it's sad because I feel like that those kids who died just didn't get a chance. And I think it's important that if you have children, or if you have nieces and nephews, or some kids, just be there for them and help them out, because children are our future, and if we don't take care of our future, then there's gonna be nothing left for us when we're gone. And it's just, to me, it's just one of those things, man, that kids deserve a chance to be kids. Some kids can't be because dad or mom left, the house, and mom or dad are raising kids by themselves. That's not fair. If you're going to be upset at your spouse, that don't mean you need to leave your kid, man. And that's real. You can be divorced and still be in your kid's life. I don't have kids. I wish I had kids, but every summer I get 2,000 kids, that I make sure go home in a better position than they were when they got there. And I deal with that every summer, and all I'm asking is that you take care of your 1 or 2 or 3 or 18 kids if you're the Douglas, and just love them and care for them. And I think I'm gonna finish with this, and I'm taking up too much time, but the McDonald's commercial was sweet. How randomly, which I'm curious on the randomness of it. Instead of paying for your food, you have to do something nice. And why does somebody have to make you do something nice to get some free food when you should be doing something nice all the time anyway? And to me, I thought it was a great commercial, but part of me is annoyed by the fact that we have to force people to be nice. And to me, that's annoying and it's stupid. And you know what? If one person's not nice to you, then you still be nice to them, because real talk, if you're nice, then they're going to be nice. And if they don't be nice, that's their fault. So you can go into the next world knowing that you did everything possible to be nice to everybody that you came in contact with. This is Big Rube. It's a smash. Just be nice to people. I'm out.
Thank you, Big Rube. We appreciate. Thank you for bringing it as you do every single first Monday of the month. And you bring it with your round table and you bring it with your smash. Appreciate it. It's time for this one over here to grab her mic and let every single person that's listening know why she is a grown woman. What you got?
When you said this one over here,
This
all
one.
I could think of is him downstairs.
Him downstairs.
But, yep, that's my song. Okay. Anyway. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
It's
y'all.
Monday.
Yes.
Thanks for listening in. Yes, I missed the Super Bowl conversation, but that was one heck of a game. I was sitting on the edge of my seat. The only person rooting for the Seahawks last night
Was you?
was me.
Yeah.
I have about 7 or 8 of us. The only person was me. And at the very last minute, I was like, yeah, suckers, blah, 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 blah. We got this now. Yeah. Egg all in my face. But it's cool. It was a fun night. Today was a good day. Usually my Mondays are stressful. And then when I get here, it's all good. It's fun. It's love. It wasn't stressful, but it was definitely fun and love. And Marcus, those glasses are so hot.
Like
Y'all gotta see Marcus's new glasses. They're hot. I could see his eyes, but it still has a little tint to it.
Thank you.
And he's still, Ruben, my dear, it's always good to see you, darling. But y'all missed it. Y'all missed it during the last break.
Oh, my
Marcus
goodness.
was hitting the high notes on the Prince, y'all. I was like, uh-oh.
Joey said Prince the only dude that could wear high heels and still be sexy.
And still be sexy. Now you talking. Now you're talking. Yes, he's the only one. But anyway, cool, y'all. Thanks for listening. I hope to have you all listening to me on Saturday at 3 p.m. on Conversations from Your Sisters. I'm not going to tell you what I'm talking about. You're going to go to the Conversations from Your Sisters Facebook fan page to find out. And then you're going to tune in and listen. I do suggest you have your pens and you get ready to take some info down. And then you're going to send me an email because you're going to ask me for something. So get ready. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to y'all then.
Half Steppin with Marcus J. Appreciate everybody who has been checking with us here this long evening. Went way over the night, but as Jay Grizzy would say, we run the building. So, it is what it is. All right, here's a rundown. Mondays, Half Steppin with Marcus J. This show, flagship show, 7 p.m. Tuesdays and live in the radio, hosted by Mr. LP Steven Sykes. Wednesdays, Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P, 7 p.m. Thursdays, All Throttle Radio, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Motorcycle Culture from the Urban Perspective. Debuting, brand new show this Thursday night. 9:30 to 11:30 this Thursday. The Listening Party, that new show will air 9:30 to 11:30. Hip hop, old school hip hop show. Friday nights you got the pregame. The pregame airs at 8 p.m. on Friday nights. Of course, conversations from your sisters with SY Listen P on Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. And the Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Mix is at 9. And then we, of course, have amplified gospel all day on Sundays. We've got some changes to the lineup that we're making, some additions, some subtractions, but so a lot of positivity and a lot of movement. So stay with us. Check out the website, Legacy Internet Radio, www.legacyinternetradio.com, for all information on all the current shows and where you can find them. Thank you to everybody that listened to us live on TuneIn. Thank you, everybody that listens to the replays on YouTube. Special thank you goes to Preston, K-Dub, Amber, Zeke, Gigi, Sid, and Melanie. And extra special thank you to Joy and Hakeem for blogging with us throughout the night. Special thank you goes to our brother, Aaron Turner of the Aaron Turner Show, who joined us here for the first couple of segments here in studio. And, of course, my brother, Big Rube, my partner, Big Rube, and my friend, Big Rube, who is here every first Monday on the show, and my big sis, S.Y. Butler, who is my co-host on the show. So at this time, it's time for me to close the show out with my rant and with my closing. Big Rube kind of stole a little bit of my thunder with his Be Nice rant. I guess the different direction that I'll take it in is when you be nice to people, keep in mind you never know what somebody's going through. When you see someone, you walk down the street and they seem to have a look on their face, maybe that look is because they just broke up with somebody. Maybe that look is because their child is sick. Maybe that look is because their car just got hit and they don't have an idea how they're going to get to work. Before we assume that someone is some kind of way, we need to understand that there's no way that you can completely understand a person unless you really do take a step or two in their shoes, which we know is impossible. And so the way you do that is you show empathy. You're empathetic about a person's plight. You're empathetic about a person's feelings. You're empathetic about anything that a person may be going through, because every single person deserves a little bit of compassion. I think that's something that we're missing in this world. Everybody seems to be so caught up in their own world, in their own situation, their own stuff, that we don't take the time to understand that while you going through your stuff, somebody else is going through their stuff. And if we take the time to understand and accept that, I think we can be a lot more patient with each other, loving with each other, compassionate with each other. Everybody's going to make some sort of mistake. Big ones, little ones, you're going to make a mistake. But part of that compassion is understanding and having forgiveness in your life. Like Ruben said, it doesn't take much to be nice to a person, and you never really know what a person is dealing with. So just keep that in mind before you get, the face that, we sometimes have. Me, I'm known as the grumpy guy, and, I don't always share what goes on with me, whether it be here on the air or in private or in public or what have you. But, like everybody, I go through stuff. So just keep that in mind, And when Ruben said earlier, and I keep tapping on him, I'm just so happy to have him here, because he touched on a lot of good stuff tonight when he talked about sending a smiley face. And I told you that, we had a participant of the show tonight who I sent out a smiley face to him, and that person sent a smiley face to me, and I responded to him, and that person was
me.
That person was my co-host, S.Y. Butler. So yes, thank you for sending me that smiley face. I needed it. So that's the end of the show. That's my rant. That had nothing to do with what we're here talking about tonight. Independence is key to building your legacy, y'all. Also to remind y'all, that I want to say peace to all the stars and the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Those are the words of Bob Marley, who you hear singing in the background. This show will air in its entirety immediately following the live show right now. So stay with us. A couple of words from our sponsors, Live Action Captions and Free Spirit Enterprises. Then we're going to rerun the show in its entirety. All 3 hours and 8 minutes is running back. And we, of course, will upload everything on YouTube. Check out the Ain't No How Steppin' with Marcus J fan page on Facebook for information. All right, y'all. That's it. Be back next week. Peace.